Hey everyone! Today we're gonna make the feta TikTok pasta that everybody's been talking about. It's been done in the group, but people have emailed me, or not emailed me, but messaged me and let me know they can't find it or the instructions aren't really clear. So we're gonna do that today, start to finish. So for this, you are going to need a package or two of grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes. Totally your choice. You're gonna base that on how big your family is and how many people you're feeding. So you're gonna need those tomatoes. You're gonna need some feta cheese. Now, ultimately, this is done with a block of feta, usually an 8-ounce block. However, my store has not had blocks of feta in forever, and I have successfully used crumbles for this. So we're going to do that. Some fresh garlic, some Italian seasoning, some garlic powder, salt and pepper, a spaghetti squash, because we're going to keep this low carb, and some chicken breast. Okay, first thing is first, you guys are going to notice there is a paper towel under my clear cutting board. This is a chef's trick for you. If your cutting board slides on you when you're cutting, take a wet paper towel, not soaking wet, wring it out and put it under your cutting board, and that will stop the cutting board from moving around. We're going to start with our spaghetti squash, okay? You're just going to take a fork and just kind of poke holes all around it. And you're going to pop this whole thing in the microwave for roughly 5 to 7 minutes until it is soft enough for you to, for you to cut into it. So let's get that in the microwave. I'm going to start with 5 minutes. That's always a good starting point. And I'll be right back. All right, it's been 5 minutes. Spaghetti squash is out of the microwave. So we're gonna see if it is soft enough to cut. So what I like to do is cut off my ends. And if you can cut right through, just like I did, it's soft enough to go. Okay, cut off your ends. And then you have the option of either cutting your spaghetti squash this way or this way. So vertical or horizontal. This is totally up to you. Both ways you can cook it without a problem. I like to do it horizontal, but today I'm going to do it vertical so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so just cut down the middle as best you can. Make sure your knives are sharp, people, okay? And because you cut the ends off, that's going to stand up for you. Grab a spoon, and you're going to just scoop out the seeds. You can even use a fork if you want to. My garbage can is right in front of me, so. And you want to get all of those seeds out of there, because what you don't want to happen is when you're putting your dish together, finding a bunch of seeds in the spaghetti squash. Now this is kind of a two-part dish. You can do this with pasta, whole wheat pasta, vegetable-based pasta. You can do it with whatever you want to. I'm going just the complete low-carb route. And I've done this before, so it does come out really good. That was really hot, by the way. And I don't know what I was thinking. It's like some of them are hanging on for dear life in there. But like I said, you want to get all of those seeds out. As best that you can. You know, if you've got like 1 or 2 stragglers, that's not going to be a problem. But if you've got a bunch of seeds in there, it's just going to make your life more difficult when you're trying to get this dish put together. All right. So I have a baking sheet lined with parchment. I'm going to take both halves, stand them up, and yes, I know what that looks like. And then this is just about a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm going to drizzle the olive oil on, and I'm not even using all of it. Oh, maybe. Okay. And then just season with salt and pepper. Be generous. This is the McCormick Pink Himalayan grinder. And this is the black peppercorn grinder. I find grinders just a little bit better of a flavor because it's fresh. You're going to put this in a 400 oven for 45 minutes. Okay? All right, we've got that heading into the oven. Now let's get the rest of our stuff prepped. That way, when that's done, we could just keep it on rolling, okay? Next up, we're going to do the chicken, okay? Chicken is, you can use chicken, you can use steak, you can use sausage, you can use whatever you want. You also don't need to add a protein at all if you don't want to. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a little salt and a little pepper. And you don't want to go crazy with the salt and pepper here because this dish has a lot of flavors going on. Okay? And then all you're going to do is you're going to saute that up and put it to the side. While my chicken is sauteing, we're going to put the rest of this dish together. Reason being, we have the spaghetti squash in the oven for 40 minutes. By the time the chicken is done, whatchamacallit, sauteing, we can put our other dish in. Now, we're not going to put the chicken in right away, but it's kind of what I use as a guideline because I like to get it all done at once. All right, so we're going to put this dish together. You're going to need a baking dish. I'm using a small square baking dish. Reason being, this is for 2 people, so it doesn't have to be huge. You're going to add your grape tomatoes. Now, I'm using 1 package. Excuse me. I'm using 1 package because, again, for 2 people. You can use 2 packages. You can use 3 packages. You can make this as big as you want to. So that was just 1 package of the grape tomatoes. And then I have my garlic. And my garlic is already minced and it's in a little bit of olive oil. So there's not much olive oil that has to be added to this dish, but it keeps the garlic fresh. You can also use whole garlic cloves. That's up to you. Whatever you see fit is fine. You know, no need to drive yourself crazy. No need to get cloves if you don't have to. If you have minced, go for it. I like to get my whole garlic and mince it all together and then just store it in a container. It makes cooking a lot easier. All right, so that does have a little bit of olive oil in it. You can also add fresh basil. I don't have any on hand, so we're gonna avoid that step, but you can do that as well. Little pepper, little salt, and you know, you season your food how you like it, guys. And some Italian seasoning. Okay. Now what I like to do at this point is just mix this up a little bit. Okay. And like I said, I have olive oil in my garlic, so I usually don't add any more. Make a hole in the middle for the feta. Now this is a 12-ounce package of feta, and that's just going to be too much for this recipe, like way too much. So 8 ounces is a cup. I am just going to get 8 ounces of this feta cheese. And you can use a block. My store has not had blocks, I think, because everybody is doing this pasta. But crumbles work just as good. Put that right in the middle. Now at this point you can drizzle olive oil over everything, but I already had the olive oil in the tomatoes, so I'm just drizzling a slight touch. A little more salt and pepper, and a little of that Italian seasoning on the cheese. Now, spaghetti squash is already in the oven. This is what makes this great. Spaghetti squash is in the oven, so all I'm gonna do is put this on the top shelf so it doesn't bake as fast, and it'll finish off with the spaghetti squash. All right, everyone, spaghetti squash is out of the oven. The tomato and cheese mixture is back in the oven just for a couple minutes. Just wasn't quite done. So here are the spaghetti squashes, and they are looking good. All you're gonna do is take a fork, and you're just gonna pull all those strands. Have a bowl ready. That's gonna be hot. And get those strands into the bowl. Easy peasy, right guys? So same thing on the other one. Get those strands in. And they should release very easily. If they don't, your spaghetti squash is not done yet, and throw it back in the oven. The full recipe and details is going to be in the comments of this video. Again, let's just get that in a bowl. Easy enough, right? All right, we also have our chicken that's in a bowl ready to go. All right, let's get our tomato cheese mixture out of the oven. Okay, and that is looking great. You see the tomatoes are nice and blistered. The cheese has kind of, what's the word? Browned a little bit on top, but not too much. You're just going to take this and you're going to mix it around. Smash those tomatoes down a little bit. Trust me, they're all ready to pop. Look at that, just amazing, right? Next up, you are going to add your chicken. Give that a quick mix, and then add in your spaghetti squash. I like to grab 2 forks for this and get this all mixed together. You can also add it to a bigger bowl if you want to. Totally up to you. you know, it's your dish. Have fun with it. And there you have it, you guys. You have the pasta that is taking the internet by storm, just with a healthier, more low-carb version. So here is our finished product. You can make this early in the day if you want to, like I just did, and just throw it in the oven for 20-30 minutes, heat it back up, put a little foil over it so it doesn't really brown the top, and you're all set. Now, this is our first YouTube submission into the group. We've decided to go with YouTube because cooking lives, we can't show start to finish on every single dish. So that's what I was really struggling with, was trying to come up with stuff that I can show you right then and there. So instead, by being able to edit the video and put it on YouTube, not only can we find it super quick if somebody can't find it in the group, but we can also show a dish that went from just straight up ingredients to the finished product like this one. So the recipe itself will be in the comments down below. This will serve 4 people. So this will be tonight's dinner, and then this will be leftovers for probably Friday, I would say. But also make sure when you see this video, just hit subscribe and hit that little bell next to subscribe to be notified when a new cooking live is coming at you. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you soon.